Hi everybody, good morning. Welcome to this Sunday edition of Mobility Flow Live. Thank you all for being here this morning. So the topic we're going to cover today is we're going to be talking about the glute muscles, the bum muscles, the tush, whatever you want to call it. This is an interesting topic for a lot of people, at least with my experience working with the clients that I have worked with, and including myself. For a lot of people, it's really, really hard to feel their glutes during particular movements. Oftentimes, the dominant muscles will take over, i.e. lower back, hamstring muscles, maybe even calves in certain instances or positions. So today we're going to do some isolated movements to try to build that mind-body connection, if you will, to those muscles of the posterior chain, in more particular, the glute muscles or the bum muscles themselves. So if during today's class, if some of these movements you're not feeling your glutes at all, do not worry. It is completely normal. Maybe you'll feel more of your hamstrings, maybe you'll feel more of your quads, maybe you'll feel more of your abdominals. There's no right, there's no wrong in these instances. We're just trying to build that connection. Oftentimes people are told that they have weak glutes or think they have weak glutes, and that can ultimately be true. But oftentimes it's your inability to feel your glutes, which is the problem, which is giving that feeling of them being weak. So today we're going to try to build that connection with them and hopefully feel them. So that's the goal of today's class. If anyone has any questions, feel free to prop them up. Otherwise, we're going to take about maybe like 10-15 more seconds, and then we're going to get going. All you need today for this class is your 2 yoga blocks or your 2 thick books, and that's about it. All right, guys, I think we're probably good to go. So, all right. Let's get going. So you are going to need both of your props for the beginning of the class. So have them handy nearby. Go ahead and prop down on your back. And we're just going to start with just a simple little breathing moment here, just to get us connected to our bodies, connected to this moment. And then we're going to kind of get right into it. So go ahead and come on your back. So constructive rest is always my favorite position in the world. So knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And maybe let's start with our hands on our rib cage today. So go ahead and start with the right hand on the right side of the rib cage, left hand on the left side of the rib cage. If you feel like you want something behind your head because you're really uncomfortable in this position, feel free to prop one of your props behind your head or a pillow. Either or is fine. Now you can do this with eyes open or eyes closed. Honestly, whatever feels better for you. And I just want you to start with some breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you exhale through your mouth, make it almost like a sigh. And just allow that exhale to be complete. Empty out all of the breath. And you're just using your breathing right now to bring your attention to where we are in this moment, in our bodies, in our space. So that as we move through our movement practice today, we're more connected. We'll just keep that breath going in through the nose and sighing through the mouth. And as you're breathing there, just start to feel the mechanical movement of the belly, the rib cage, as you take each breath. And then slowly make your way towards a nasal breath. Let's take a few cycles of that, maybe 3 or 4 breaths, and then we'll get right into it. All right, everybody, when you feel ready, go ahead and prop your eyes open and take your arms out to the side with your palms facing up and the backs of your shoulder blades kind of glued to the floor, so you're almost making like a letter T with your arms. And then go ahead and bring your feet a little wider, maybe close to mat distance, maybe mat distance if that feels okay. And then we're just going to start with a little bit of rotation here. So you're going to slowly work towards letting your right leg rotate over towards the left. Your right leg rotate over towards the right as your left leg rotates inward. Now, for some of you, your right leg, the outer portion of the leg, will actually hit the floor on the right. Okay, for some of you, that may not happen. Don't force it. Just allow the leg to drop over. Okay? And then slowly kind of float back through to center, and then start the process with the left leg. So let the left leg fall over as the right leg rotates inward. And I want you to go at this speed, very slowly. Go back to center. Now, as you go over towards the right, one thing I want you to watch out for is you're not letting your shoulder blades pop up off the floor. And what I mean by that is, as you rotate over towards the right, try not to let your shoulder blade on the left prop up. Keep that down. And then float back through to center, and then rotate the left leg over towards the left, and then the right leg rotates inward. Now, as you come back through to center, go over towards the right, and then I want you to stay there. So as you prop your legs over towards the right, now we're going to work with this left leg. So I'm going to take this left leg, and I'm going to pull it up across the body towards kind of like the center of my chest. And then I want to go ahead and grab my right hand, and I just want to put it on the outside of that leg. And I just want to give it a gentle little kind of push, as if I'm trying to take it down towards the floor. Now again, I'm prioritizing keeping my left shoulder blade on the ground. And for some of you, depending on how tight your glutes are, or whether you're sore, you might feel a little bit of action on the outside of the left butt cheek. Okay? You might feel nothing. Not right, not wrong. But again, just give that a little bit of a push, maybe even like a little bit more if that feels okay. And then go ahead and release the right hand. Bring the left leg back to where it was, rotated inwards. Swing your legs back to center and switch to the other side. So left leg props over. Now I'm going to take that right leg. I'm going to draw it up and across the body. I'm going to prioritize keeping that right shoulder blade glued to the floor. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my left hand on that right leg, and I'm just going to give it a little kind of pull down, even kind of across. And I know for me, my glutes or my hamstrings more or less are a little sore. So I'm feeling a little bit of action, just kind of right around the outer portion of the leg. Okay? I'm just going to give that a little bit of a push down, whatever I can tolerate. Awesome. Then I'll go ahead and release the hand. Swing that right leg back to where it was, bring the legs back up to center, and then just kind of hang out there for a moment. All right, we're gonna get going here. So, option to have a block behind your head. I know for me, I don't need it here because it bothers me, but if you're finding that your neck is propping up like so, where there's a big arch and your throat is really open when we're doing these movements, you need something behind your head. If you can maintain your head pretty neutral, you don't need something. All right, here we go, let's get this going. So you're gonna take your block, okay? Horizontal to you, you're gonna squeeze that in between your inner thighs, okay? And then your feet are gonna remain flat on the floor, toes spread, big toes and the heels, especially glued to the floor. Now arms alongside of you, do not touch your body for this. Now first thing, I want you to bring your feet a little bit closer towards one another so that your block is securely in place. All right, we're gonna start with a little hold just to kind of get the butt muscles going. Now, as I squeeze the block with my inner thighs, like we've been working on if you've been following these classes, I'm going to take my butt and I'm going to scoop it underneath me. And as I scoop it underneath me, now my lower back comes flat to the floor. Now think of tensing your abdominals as you do that, and then I want you to start to proceed to lift the outer hips and the butt up off the floor as high as you can without arching your lower back. Now you'd be surprised at how high you cannot go. If you're arching, I see this a lot where people are arching from their spine to try to get their butt up there, but this is not working your glutes. This is turning on the low back muscles. Let your rib cage remain down, scoop the butt underneath you, and I just want you to take a nice little iso hold here. So press the feet into the floor, squeeze the block, scoop the butt underneath you as much as you can, and hold. Now, you might not feel your bum, you might feel your hamstrings, you might feel your inner thighs. Again, not right, not wrong. Just try to build a connection with some muscle, okay, whatever that might be. Hold there, 5 more seconds. Good, and then proceed to lower that down. Now, as you lower down, I want you to feel like you're lowering your hips and your lower back together like one single unit. All right, so now we're gonna do this for repetitions. Glute bridges. We're gonna take 10 reps. We're gonna hold at the top for 5 counts, prioritizing scooping the butt underneath us, keeping the rib cage down, and the block squeezing. If you want an added challenge, you can take your arms up over your chest. Otherwise, arms alongside of you. Whatever feels good, guys. All right, here we go. Squeeze the block, scoop the butt underneath you, press down through my feet, and then lift. Now, once I get there, scoop the butt even more, squeeze the block, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the outer hips and the low back together like one single unit. Again, scoop the butt underneath you, drive the outer hips up. How high you go is irrelevant. Squeeze the block, squeeze the bum. Think that you're like holding a dollar bill in between your butt cheeks and you're trying to squeeze that in place. Scoop and hold for 3, 2, 1. Lower the outer hips down. Good. Again, scoop the butt underneath you, drive the outer hips up. Okay. Really relax down through the rib cage, but squeeze the bum, hold. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Good. Again, scoop the butt underneath you, drive up through those outer hips. Good. Really squeeze that bum, hold. 3, 2, 1. Lower on down. Whew. Again, scoop the butt underneath you, drive up through those outer hips. If your low back is taking over, you're arching and you're trying to lift too high for your structure. Squeeze. 2, 1. Lower down. We're halfway there. Scoop the butt underneath you, drive the outer hips up, belly nice and relaxed. If you want that challenge, take your arms up over your chest so that you're really working the abdominal muscles, especially the obliques. Hold. 2, 1. Lower down. Last 4 here. Scoop the butt underneath you, lift. Good. Squeeze. Even work harder to press down through your feet. That's going to allow you to feel your butt a little bit more. 2, 1. Lower on down. Good. Last 3 here. Scoop the butt underneath you. Drive up through those outer hips. Squeeze really hard. Belly tight. 3, 2, 1. Lower those outer hips down. Last 2. Scoop the butt underneath you. Lift. Good. Belly relaxed. Squeeze. Good. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Good. Last 1. Scoop the butt. Drive up through the outer hips. Keep squeezing the butt. Squeeze the block. Last 5 seconds here. Good. And then lower everything down. Beautiful. Go ahead and get rid of your block. Give your legs a little shake. Now, I know for me when I did that, I felt a lot of my inner thighs and my hamstrings more towards the end. Not much in my glutes, but again, I'm one of those people that finds it really hard to connect to my glutes, so don't worry if that's you as well. All right, so now we're gonna work with some single leg work. So from here, we're gonna work something called hip extension, which is where your glutes are their most powerful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hug my right knee towards my chest. I'm gonna clasp my hands around. Now, if when you clasp your hands around, your neck went funny, you need something behind your head, okay? So I might even just do that to give you guys a little bit of a visual. So I'm gonna put something behind my head to help me a little bit here, okay? So hands clasped around me. Now what I wanna do with my left foot is I wanna take it a little bit further away from me. So instead of it being super close in towards the body like a bridge, I'm gonna take it a little further away. Now all I'm gonna do is these single leg glute bridges with my hands clasped around the right leg. Same rules apply. I'm gonna scoop the butt underneath me. Now I'm gonna press down through that left foot to drive my butt up. Now my hamstring is gonna go nuts. It's gonna start to shake. I wanna try to lift the outer hips and keep them as level as I can as I hold that right leg in. Hold here, guys. Really press down through that feet. Scoop the butt underneath you, hold, and then lower everything down. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna do this for reps. Okay, really press down through that left foot, scoop the butt underneath you. Here we go. I'm gonna push down, I'm gonna lift, hold, lower. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Good. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Good. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Last 5. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Last 4. Keep that left big toe on the floor. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Watch the arching of the low back. Scoop the butt, lift. Now if we're arching the low back, we're not using the glutes. Hold, lower. I think it's 3 more, maybe. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. 2 more. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Last 1. Scoop the butt and lift, hold, and lower. That's a tough one. Now, if you were able to lift really high, I'd be quite surprised. You should probably only be able to lift maybe 1/4 of an inch, if that, up off the floor. Really good job, guys. All right, let's switch sides. So I'm gonna start with my right foot nice and close to me, just so I can get an idea of where I want it placed. Then I'm gonna pull that left leg in. I'm gonna clasp my hands around, and then I wanna take that right foot now and bring it a little further away. Bringing it a little further away is gonna activate a little bit more of those posterior muscles. All right, so 10 of them here. Let's just do one little iso hold like we did at the beginning, just so we can get a feel for what we're doing. So press down through that right foot, especially the big toe and the heel. Scoop the butt underneath you, and then lift. Okay, now I wanna feel, what am I using here? I'm trying to drive up through that right hip crease. I'm trying to keep my hips nice and level, and I'm trying to scoop that butt underneath me as I press down through the foot. Hold, and then lower down. Good, makes sense? All right, let's try 10 of these. So scoop the butt, push down through the foot, lift, hold, lower. Think about what you're doing. Scoop the butt, push down, lift. Think of those muscles on the back side. Hold, lower. Scoop the butt, good, lift, hold, lower. Scoop the butt, push down, lift. Drive that right hip crease up, hold, lower. Number 5 here. Scoop the butt, push down, drive up, hold, lower. Last 5. Scoop, push, lift, hold, lower. 4 more. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, lower. 3 more. Scoop the butt and push, lift, hold, lower. 2 more. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Last one here. Scoop the butt and lift, hold, and lower. Awesome job. These are not easy. All right, guys. Now what we want to do is we want to take our second block, or maybe your first block, and again, maybe for this one, you might want to take the block away from your head. Depends how you're feeling. So now what I want to do is I want to take my block and I want to put it underneath my left foot, kind of like I'm wearing it like a shoe, and then both feet are going to be parallel. Now what I actually want to do with my left foot, and I'll just let you see, is I want to flex that foot so my heel is the only thing that's on the block. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. What I'm going to do with this right leg is I'm going to bring it up to a 90-degree angle. So knee over hip crease, shin bone parallel to the ceiling, ankle nice and flexed. Left foot flexed, heel on the block, and I want to prioritize pushing that heel into the floor. Now, if this is super challenging, you can have your arms alongside you with your palms facing down, because it's going to allow you to brace. Maybe you want to choose to add that challenge with your arms up over your shoulders. Whatever feels good for you. All right, so let's do the first one as a little iso hold to figure out what we're doing. So I'm going to push down through the heel. Same thing. Scoop the butt underneath you, but now you want to press through that heel and drive up. And again, don't let your low back arch. Scoop underneath, Now I want you to really prioritize squeezing that left butt cheek. Good, hold there. Rib cage dropping. Awesome, and then lower everything to the floor. Good, now the more you dig that left heel into the block, the more you're gonna get all of the muscles of the back of the leg. But now this is where I want you to use that mind-muscle connection. For me, I get a lot of hamstring because that's just where I'm dominant. So I wanna really put my mind in that left butt cheek. The right leg isn't doing anything, so you can ignore that one. But the left butt cheek, I'm gonna squeeze it. Cool? All right, so let's try 10 of these. Arms alongside of us or over, whatever feels good to you guys. All right, scoop the butt underneath you, drive up, hold. Good, keep the tension as you lower. Scoop the butt, drive up, hold. Lower, good. Scoop the butt, push down, drive up, hold. Awesome, good. Lower, scoop the butt, lift, hold. Lower, good. Scoop the butt, lift. Good, hold, lower. Think about that left butt cheek, halfway. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. 4 more. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, lower. 3 more. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, lower. 2 more. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, lower. Again. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, lower. Last one. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, and lower. Ugh, that one's super hard. All right, beautiful. So now we're gonna switch the block over towards the right foot. So I'm wearing that like a shoe. I'm gonna start by kind of prioritizing, paralleling my feet first. Then I'm gonna go ahead and flex the right foot, and I'm gonna bring my left leg up to 90 degrees. Okay, so let's start with that iso hold again, just so you can build that connection. So arms where I want them. Okay, scoop the butt, and I'm gonna push down, and I'm gonna lift. Your weaker side is gonna reveal itself. Okay, that's okay. Not everybody is gonna be strong equally on both sides. Asymmetry makes you normal. Hold there, and then carefully lower down. You'll notice one side is gonna feel more awkward than the other. Your hips are gonna feel a little unsteady. That's fine. All right, so let's go for reps, and then we're gonna move on up above our backs. All right, here we go. Heel on the floor, left leg 90 degrees. Here I go. I'm gonna scoop the butt. I'm gonna drive down. I'm gonna lift. Hold. Lower. Good. Scoop the butt, push down, lift, hold, lower. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. No arching the low back. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Good. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Halfway. Scoop the butt and lift, hold, lower. 4 more. Scoop the butt, lift, hold, lower. Last 3. Scoop, push down, lift, hold, lower. Last 2. Scoop, push, lift, hold, lower. Last one. Scoop, push down, lift, hold, hold, hold. Think about that right butt cheek, hold, and then lower down. All right, guys, beautiful. Go ahead and get rid of that. Give your legs a little bit of a shake, whatever you want to do, and then go ahead and prop yourself on up. Okay. All right, beautiful. Okay, my hair probably looks a disaster right now. That's okay. All right, guys, so now we're gonna move on to working with a little bit of lunging work and feeling how the glutes support us in some lunges. So you're not gonna need your props for this section, so go ahead and get rid of your blocks. And then what I want you guys to do is you're gonna start up in hands and knees. So I'm gonna find that good hands and knees position. Okay, so I'm going ahead and I'm gonna set that up. I'm gonna put my elbows under my shoulders. I'm gonna go ahead and take my hands and turn them out a little bit. I'm gonna spread actively through my fingers and then from my upper arm bones, I'm gonna work to spin my inner biceps forward, okay? Now I call this move dog peeing on a fire hydrant because that's exactly what it looks like. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start in that hands and knees, and I'm gonna work to create tension. I'm gonna push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, and I'm gonna go ahead and lift my low belly just a little bit so I feel like I have this hollow body. Now I wanna take my right knee, I wanna hover it. Okay? Now as I hover the right knee, I'm gonna flex the foot, and without bending my elbows, I'm gonna take my leg up and out to the side, as high as I can without letting my elbows bend, and what I wanna prioritize is feeling the outer portion of my right hip. And then I wanna go ahead and re-parallel my legs without letting the knee drop. Hence, dog peeing on a fire hydrant. We're gonna try 15 of those. So I'm gonna take that leg out and up, and then in. For 2. Good, trying to lean to the left. For 3. Good. For 4. Good, how high you lift your leg doesn't matter. For 5. For 6. Good. For 7. Good. For 8. Good. For 9. Good. For 10. Good. 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Now I'm going to take that right foot, I'm going to step it forward. All right, so now I'm going to come up into kind of like a low lunge. So I'm going to go ahead and prop myself up into a little tiny low lunge. So my knee is on top of my ankle, my back knee is underneath my back hip, my toes are curled under. Now, this is super, super important. I want to work with the pelvis on the left side. If my low back is arching, I'm not going to be able to turn on those glutes. So I want to go ahead and take that left butt cheek and scoop it underneath me. And then as I scoop it underneath me, you'll get a little bit of a stretch in the front, but more so I want you to see if you can really squeeze that left butt cheek and turn it on. Now as I scoop under, I'm going to squeeze that butt as hard as I can, just on the left side, so I can prioritize feeling that work. Then I want to go ahead and take my arms out in front of me. Now I want to actively press down through my right foot as I scoop that left butt cheek underneath me. Now using the support of that left butt cheek, I'm going to push myself up into a higher version of that same lunge. Now, if I lose the tension, I'm going to arch my back. So I want to scoop that butt underneath me. I want to actively turn on that left butt cheek, and I want to hold. So I want to really work to push down through that right foot, scoop the butt, and then feel that bum squeeze. Hold. Now with nice control, I want to slowly lower down until my back knee hits the floor. Good. Do that again. Scoop the butt underneath you, squeeze the butt, arms out in front of you. Go ahead and push up. Good. Scoop that butt. Give it a nice strong squeeze on that left side. Hold. Good. And then with nice control, go ahead and lower down. Good. Again, scoop the butt, squeeze that bum, push up, hold. Scoop that butt even more. Feel the butt squeeze. With nice control, lower down. Last 2. Scoop the butt, push up, hold. Scoop that butt even more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. With nice control, lower down. Last one here. Scoop the butt, push up, hold. Scoop the butt, scoop the butt, scoop the butt. Good. Squeeze it. Good. And then lower down. Beautiful. And then drop your hands. And then go ahead and step back. Whew. Awesome job. All right, so we're going to try the left side. Now, before we do the left side, a couple things to look out for. When you're doing your lunge, when you're up in that top position, okay, if you start to arch your low back, you've lost your position. So really work to scoop that butt and think of finding that active squeeze. Okay, so let's try the other side. So I'm going to come back to my hands and knees. I'm going to start with my dog peeing on the fire hydrant. Okay, knee set up, hands set up, push my shoulder blades to the ceiling, lift my belly just a little bit, take that left knee and lift it without bending the elbows, leg goes up, lower, 2, lower, up, good. Now you're trying to find the outer portion of the butt cheek, lift. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 5 here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Go ahead and step that foot forward. Okay, so same type of lunge position. So I'm going to curl those back toes under for support. I'm going to go ahead and prop up. Now, once I'm in this top position, I'm going to prioritize that butt cheek. So I'm going to take that butt cheek, scoop underneath me, and I really want to squeeze it. Find that active work. Arms out in front of me. Really think about that left foot, because that left foot is what's going to anchor you. So as I scoop the butt, I'm going to push down, and I'm going to lift up. I don't want to be here. I want to scoop, belly tight, squeeze that butt, hold. Using the front foot, lower down like one straight line. Scoop the butt, push up. Good. Scoop that butt even more. Awesome. Good. With control, lower down. Again, scoop the butt, push up. Good. Scoop even more. Try to squeeze just the right side. Lower down. 2 more here. Scoop the butt. Go ahead and push up, lift. Hold. Good. Ribs down. Lower down. Last one here. Scoop the butt. Push up, hold. Get that butt underneath you, hold. Beautiful. And with nice control, go ahead and lower down. Awesome job, guys. Right, go ahead and step back. Take a little break for a moment. Really good job. Beautiful. Not easy. Okay, so now we're going to take this same flow. We're going to add on to it a little bit. So we're going to start with the same dog peeing on a fire hydrant, but this time we're going to hover the opposite hand so we can get a little bit more abdominal activity. So you're going to go ahead and come back to that same position, hands and knees. Now this time, as I hover my right knee, I want to hover my left hand. Now what's going to happen is you're going to get a little wobbly through here. So keep the sides of the weight really tight, hold the belly up, and work actively to push that right shoulder blade to the ceiling. Now I'm going to take my leg out to the side for those fire hydrants. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, lower, drop the hand, step that foot back forward. Awesome. So now I want to take a hovering lunge. Now, you might need your blocks for this, to have your blocks set up on either side of the right foot just to help you lift up into the lunge. But if you can drop your fingers to the floor, you can go ahead and put them down now. Otherwise, go ahead and use your blocks to pick your back leg up into a lunge. So now we're in a hovering lunge, but our back leg is lifted, okay? Now, if you can keep your fingertips on the floor and your chest pulling forward, you can keep them there. But I probably advise you to go ahead and take your blocks up and have your fingertips nice and light. Now, as I work to pull my chest forward, I want to lift that back inner thigh up off the floor. Now, in order to keep my legs straight, I have to really work to squeeze my left butt cheek. For a lot of you, you have a hard time straightening your leg in this position. So I want you to really work from that bum to straighten that leg back out as you pull your chest straight ahead. Belly lifts up away from the thigh. Good. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to slowly let that back knee hit the floor. And as soon as it hits, we're going to pick back up using that bum to straighten. Good. Lower back down. Good. Push up, lift. If you want an added challenge, bring your hands to your waist. Go ahead and drop that back knee down. Use the butt cheek to lift and straighten. 2 more. Lower that back knee down. Lift and straighten, bum squeezes. Last one. Lower back down. Use that left butt cheek to straighten. Hands to the blocks. Drop that back knee. Go ahead and step back. Other side. So blocks out of the way. Fire hydrants on the other side. Okay. Set my hands up. Beautiful. Now this time I'm going to hover my right hand and my left knee. So I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Left knee, right hand hovers. Actively work to push that left shoulder blade to the ceiling. And then here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the hand, step that leg forward, okay? Now again, maybe use your props. Maybe have your hands on the floor, whatever feels good for you guys. All right, now once I'm there, I'm gonna go ahead and push through that front foot and go ahead and pick my back leg up. Now again, I wanna prioritize straightening it. So I wanna work from that right butt cheek to go ahead and straighten my leg. Really work to pull my chest forward and feel my belly lift up away from the thigh. Good, if your knee is bending, you gotta work a little harder to work from that glute to lift. Good, now here we go. I'm gonna drop that back knee down with control. I'm gonna use that right butt cheek to lift up. If you want the added challenge, hands to your waist, drop that knee, push up, lift, and lower, and up 3, 2 more, lower, push up 4, last one, lower, push up 5. Awesome, drop the hands to the blocks, drop the back knee, go ahead and proceed to step back. Beautiful. All right, guys, now we're gonna work to lie on our bellies. Won't need your props for this. So go ahead and come down onto your stomachs. Okay, all right, beautiful. Okay, now, once we're on our stomachs, we are gonna work with using the glutes to lift our legs. Now, for a lot of people, this is where their lower back tends to take over. And they like to lift everything from their low back. So this is a really, really important skill to learn, to how to actually use our glute muscles without the participation of our lower back. And oftentimes this is why a lot of us develop pain in the lower back when we're doing movements for the lower body, because we're using too much of the lower back. So we want to try to isolate the glutes. So we're going to start with a very, very simple position here. We're going to start just with our chin resting on the backs of our hands. We're going to start there, and then we're going to proceed to add this a little bit more difficult. Now, what I want you to think about is your hip bones. If you can slide your hands underneath your low belly, you're a very arched dominant lower back person, which means that your lower back does a lot of work. So what I want you guys to really think about doing is pushing your hip bones down into the floor as much as you can. And as you push those hip bones down, now our glutes turn on. So I shouldn't be able to slide my hands underneath at all. So that's the first step. Point your toes straight back, rest your chin, push your heels into the floor. Now all I want you to think about is your right leg. From my right inner thigh, I'm going to lift my right leg up off the floor as high as I can without A, bending my knee, without B, using momentum from the low back. So I'm going to lift that as high as I can. Now I'm going to actively push that right hip bone down into the floor as I let that leg come on up. And I'm going to hold there. Okay, and I want you to hold there with active work through the back of the bum and the back of the leg. Okay, and then really squeeze and hold. And then go ahead and set that leg down. Left side, same thing. From the inner thigh, go ahead and lift. Push that hip bone down into the floor as much as you can. And you might not be able to lift your leg very high, but again, that's not the priority. The priority is to isolate Using our glutes without the participation of our low back. Hold. Go ahead and lower down. Right leg again. Go ahead and lift. If your lower back is moving, you're lifting from the low back, not from the glute. Hold, lower down. Left side from the inner thigh, go ahead and lift as I push that hip bone down to the floor. Hold and lower. Good. Now, this time, maybe try to take your arms a little bit out in front of you with a little bend in your elbows. Yeah, I can't see that. A little bend in your elbows. Go ahead and try to lift your chest. Good, beautiful. And now from here, we're gonna try to work the same thing, but with both legs lifting up off the floor. So I wanna push my hip bones down, and then from my inner thighs, I wanna go ahead and lift my legs up. And I want you to really think about your butt squeezing. Now, if you're starting to feel your low back a lot, reset. Maybe try to work a little bit more from the inner thighs. Maybe even bring your head back down to your hands. But I want you to hold there. Good. Knees nice and straight. Lifting up the chest, hip bones down into the floor. Hold. Lower. Do it again. Push the hip bones down. From the inner thighs, go ahead and lift. Hold. Squeeze the bum. Nice active work through the back of the bum, the backs of the legs. Squeeze your butt so hard. Think of the top position of a squat. That's how much I want you to squeeze. Lower down. Again, push the hip bones down. Go ahead and lift. Squeeze and hold. Good. And lower. 2 more here. Push the hip bones down. Go ahead and squeeze, lift, and hold. Good. Lower. Last one here. Push the hip bones down. Go ahead and lift. And notice how my legs are not lifting very high, but I'm feeling my glutes, my hamstrings a lot. My hip bones are remaining on the floor. My glutes are firing. Hold. And then lower down and relax. Beautiful. All right, this next one's a little tricky to get the hang of, but we're gonna try this together. So you're gonna take your leg almost like a frog position. So, or kind of like a reverse butterfly. So I'm gonna bring my feet quite wide, or excuse me, my knees about mat distance apart, and I'm gonna glue my feet together. And I wanna really think about pushing the balls of my feet together as well as my heels and my toes. Now, when you come to this position, for a lot of you, this is where your hip bones are gonna lift. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send my feet a little bit further away from me until I can really push those hip bones down. So this is where I end up, okay? I wanna really push those heels together and then really push those hip bones into the floor. Now we're gonna use our bum to see if we can lift our thighs and the base of our knees just a little bit up off the floor. So I'm gonna press my heels together and then I'm gonna try to lift my knees. And they're not gonna lift very high. I'm gonna feel my bum doing all of the work. And then I'm gonna drop down. So it's really small. Let me show you again. I'm gonna push my heels together, push my hip bones into the floor. I'm gonna use my butt to drive my legs up. I'm gonna hold there, I'm gonna settle down. So it's almost like a kind of reverse frog position or like a reverse hyper, as some people will call it. All right, now here's the thing. We're gonna do it with pulsing. So let me show you first. It's gonna look like this. I'm gonna press my heels together, I'm gonna push my hip bones down, and then all I'm gonna do from my butt is I'm gonna lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. Now, if I was lifting from my low back, it would look like this. So I'm using momentum from the arch of my low back. So I wanna try to keep that really still. Okay, let's see if we can do 20, okay? So I'm gonna keep my palms crossed. I'm gonna keep kind of looking down at them. I'm gonna press my heels together. I'm gonna push my hip bones into the floor. And then here I go, I'm gonna lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Beautiful. Whew. I feel my butt a lot. Don't worry if you don't. Again, it takes time. All right, let's try another set. Press the heels together, push the hip bones into the floor. Here I go and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. Relax. All right, let's do that again. Why not? press the heels together, okay? Let your knees or the heels move a little bit further away from your bum. Push the hip bones down to the floor. Here we go, and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, guys, go ahead and relax. Release that. Go ahead and push yourself back up into a nice little seated position. Awesome. And we'll just take a moment here. Really good job, guys. Now we're going to do a nice little cool down just to release all that. We have one more quick thing to do. Really, really good job. Okay, so we're going to come to a rotated position with our hip joint. And now we're going to focus on finding the second largest muscle in the bum, which is more along the outer portion of the butt. So we're going to come to almost like a 90-degree position with both legs. So I'm going to come to a seated position. Okay, and then what I want to do with my right leg is I want to rotate it out towards the right. And I want to adjust that shin bone until it's like kind of parallel with kind of the bottom edge of my mat. So I almost have 90 degrees. And then what I want to do with that back leg is I want to swing it back behind me so it's quite similar. So I have kind of roughly 90 degrees with the front leg, roughly 90 degrees with the back leg. Your legs might be close, okay? They might be far apart. There's no right, there's no wrong. I want you guys to work with what feels good for you. So now we're going to be working with that back portion of that butt cheek. So that left outer hip. So what I want to prioritize doing is pushing my right outer hip into the floor as much as I can. So I want to think about that right outer butt cheek, that right outer leg, and the outer portion of the knee. And I want to push that down into the floor. Now, as I push that down into the floor, I want to lean my torso forward and I want to go ahead and clasp my hands together. Now, as I lean forward, I want to see if I can take that back leg and lift it up off the floor. And I want to cramp that butt cheek and I want to hold. So I want to lift and I want to hold that up there. Now, your leg might quiver, your leg might shake, but I want you to hold that with nice steady control and then go ahead and set it down. Again, push the outer knee into the floor, push the outer hip into the floor, go ahead and lean forward and then lift that back leg up. Hold, push down and lift. Hold, 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 hold. Lower down. Again, push forward, lift that back leg, hold. Good, really feel that outer hip get tense. Hold, 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 hold. Drop down, 2 more here, guys. Lean forward, lift up. So trying to find that outer portion of the hip, that outer butt muscle. Hold, drop down, 1 more here. Go ahead and lean forward, pick that back leg up. Hold, 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 and drop down. Swing your legs back to the center, give them a little bit of a shake. We'll do the same thing the other side. Now, for some of you, when you did this, you might have gotten a cramp, like a bad, really bad cramp in the outer portion of the butt. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's actually a good thing. Your muscle's craving that type of tension, and it's telling you, I need more of this. Do this more often. Good. All right. Runners, this is a really important muscle for you. Weightlifters, really important muscle. So we want to work this muscle on a regular basis. So let's try the same thing the left side. So I'm going to rotate that left leg outward. I'm going to adjust my shin bone so it's roughly parallel. And then I'm going to swing my back leg back behind me. So I've got 90 per se. Okay, now I want to really think about that left outer hip. Push that down, push that knee down, push everything down into the floor. Now as I clasp my hands, I lean forward and then I go ahead and lift that back leg up while pushing that left outer hip into the floor. Hold. Good. Go ahead and drop down. Again, lean forward, lift that back leg up, hold. Good. Drop down. Again, lean forward, push that outer hip into the floor on the left side to lift that back leg, hold. Drop down, 2 more there, guys. Go ahead and lean forward, push that outer hip into the floor, lift that back leg. Good. Drop down, 1 more here. Push that outer hip, lift that back leg, hold, and hold, and hold, and hold, and drop. Good. Swing your legs back through the center, give them a little shake. Great job, guys. Okay, now we're going to proceed to kind of cool down a little bit. So we're going to come back up into hands and knees. And just to kind of get out a little bit of the tension that we built in the spine, we just want to take a nice little cat-cow. So go ahead and come forward into your hands and knees position. Good. Set yourself up. You can have toes curled or uncurled, whatever feels better for you. And then we want to take a nice little cat-cow from here, starting with an arch of the spine. So as I inhale, I drop my rib cage. I pull my chest forward and up. Maybe I look up. And then as I out breath, I round. Bring my chin to my chest. Inhale, I arch. Exhale, I round. Good. One more. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Awesome. Go ahead and come back to neutral. Go ahead and grab both of your props, both of your books, both of your blocks, and go ahead and come on down to your backs. Okay. All right. So now that you come onto your backs, we're just going to take kind of one of my favorite little glute stretches here. I definitely encourage you to have something behind your head for the majority of you here. Okay, and I just want to take a nice little stretch just to get into the outer portion of the glute a little bit. Okay, so figure 4, some of you might commonly know this as. So I'm going to go ahead and take my right ankle, cross over top of the left thigh. I want to flex my foot. I want to bring my left leg up to like roughly a 90-degree angle. And then I want to go ahead and take my hands, clasp them behind the back of the left thigh, pull the left thigh into the body as I proceed to let my head come down to my block. I want my shoulders to come back. I want my left shin bone to relax, my right ankle to remain flexed. And with every exhale I take, I want to feel like I'm pulling that left leg into the body. And you'll feel a lot through the outer portion of the right hip. Okay? Some of you might not feel a lot. Some of you might feel a super stretch here. Okay? With every exhale, I'm just kind of pulling that in as I actively work to push my tailbone into the floor. Take a breath. Good. Go ahead and release the hands, unclasp that. Go ahead and switch sides. Cross that left ankle over top. Make sure you flex the ankle here. Pick the right leg up to 90 degrees. Go ahead and take the hands, clasp it behind, pull the thigh bone in, let your head come down, and your right shin bone just kind of relax as you let your shoulders draw back. Let your tailbone push into the floor. Good. Try to keep your breath smooth, your throat remaining open. No force here, just simple breaths. Good. And then go ahead and release that. Now what I'd like you to do with both of your books or your blocks, I'd like you to rotate your legs out almost like a butterfly. So I'm going to open my knees until the soles of my feet come together. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my props and I'm just going to put them behind the backs of my knees. Now for some of you, this is a lot of rotation. So you may have to adjust the height of your props so that your legs can rest on the prop. I don't want you to actively hold your legs up. Ideally, I would like you to have a prop that is going to support the legs so your legs can remain open. Okay? And again, for some of you, you're not going to have a lot of rotation. Some of you might be up here. And if that's the case, I would prefer you to keep your feet flat on the floor because then you're just actively holding it up. So let your legs kind of fall open. And just kind of hang out here for a moment. Now you can choose to draw your heels a little further away from the hips, which I like, so I'm in a little bit more of a diamond shape. And then I want to take my arms out to the side, and I just want to take a breath or two here. And I want you to really, really think about your outer butt muscles, letting them just kind of descend to the floor. We've built a lot of tension in them today, so I just want to let them just kind of settle, relax. Inner thighs melt open. Breath is really steady. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Good. And then with nice, relaxed control, I'm going to slowly lift my legs up off my prop. And we're going to finish exactly how we started today. So I'm going to take my arms out to the side like a letter T. I'm going to bring my feet quite wide. I'm going to rotate my legs over towards the right. Then I'm going to take that left leg and I'm going to pull it up across the body. I'm going to take my right hand to that leg and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a push. This might even feel a little bit different than when we first started today. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a push. I'm going to bring my legs back to that rotation, back to center. Then I'm going to go over towards the left. I'm going to swing that right leg up. I'm going to hold that outer portion of the leg. I'm just going to give it a nice little push down. Good. I'm going to go ahead and release. Bring that back to center. And then maybe just take a moment just to come back to what I call windshield wiper hips. You're just rotating your legs back and forth. All right, guys, that's your glute class for today. Really, really good work. And again, don't worry if you didn't feel your glutes a lot. It's a hard area to connect to, so don't worry. All right, go ahead and give your knees a little hug into the chest. And if you'd like to stay here on your back, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know. Great job, everybody. I wish I was there with you so I could see you, but I'm sure you all did fantastic. So next Mobility Flow Live is going to be Wednesday at 12 noon. A lot of you have asked me, and some of you I've spoken to particularly about some shoulder issues that you're having, whether it's a long-standing injury or something acute that has come up, especially a lot of you that do ninja and bouldering and climbing. So we're going to be talking about restoring the function of the shoulder blades on Wednesday. Can't move your arm without the participation of the shoulder blades. So we're going to talk about moving those shoulder blades in all of their directions. So that's going to be on Wednesday at noon. Thank you guys so much for joining in. As usual, if you have any questions, you want to contact me, jen@freeruninc.com. That's Jen with 2 N's. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for being here today. Hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, have a great day. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye, guys.